Welcome back to the Cape CopCast. I'm Officer Mercedes Simons. Lisa's out today, but we have two amazing guests. We have Dr. and Chaplain Don Neace and his wife Lisa. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, as you said, my name is Don Neace. I've been a chaplain here with Cape Coral Police Department for the last 10 years. We've just completed 50 years of ministry in total, pastoring churches in Illinois, Virginia, and here in Florida. I am retiring from pastoral ministry, from full-time vocational ministry, and retiring from chaplaincy. As I said, 10 years here in Cape Coral, a little over 40 years total in chaplaincy. And it's been a wonderful experience. And today is a bittersweet day as I retire, because I love the people here in Cape Coral, and I love the Cape Coral Police Department and Cape Coral Fire Department. I've been lead chaplain with the fire department for the past 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring you on because you're retiring, but also you have over 10 years of history here. You've
Yes.
done a lot for us. I think you've been here for us in some of our biggest moments, our smallest moments. And I think things that you've helped get people through some of the hardest moments of their life. And I think that deserves a huge thank you. And then you get to tell a little bit of your story. That's why we also wanted to bring on Lisa. You actually, you weren't intending to be on the podcast today,
No.
but I thought what a greater way to show just how much he's done for the department. You've seen things from a far different perspective because you've been his wife. You've seen him come home. You've seen him leave at random times. And you've also sacrificed part of your life for him to be able to go and help people.
Exactly.
And you've seen things from a different perspective.
I have loved him being part of this, the chaplaincy. He thrives. He thrives so much helping people. And I've supported him all along.
Yes, she is.
With what he's wanted to do. And I've seen him tired, and I've seen him come home a little weary, but he loves it, and I love that he loves it.
On a personal note, I want to express my appreciation for her support. Lisa and I have been married for 47 years.
Wow.
And just last week, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of our first date.
Aww.
And I want to encourage everyone to remember your first date as well as your wedding date. Those are two dates that are important, at least they are to me. But Lisa has supported me and stood behind me. And as you said, you recognize her commitment and sacrifice has been rock solid throughout the 50 years of ministry and during the service of chaplaincy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because it's no different. Just because you're not a cop with a gun, you're still in law enforcement in that capacity. So you understand how important it is to have a supportive spouse that understands.
Yes.
Because just like we have call outs all the time. We have to leave the family at random points in the night, 3 a.m. Whenever that call comes, you have to go. And so you completely understand as a married couple of what it means to have such a supportive spouse that makes you be able to continue doing what you're doing, and someone there for you when people emotionally dump on you, I think it's fair to say. And I think it's very cool for you to also have somebody who you can lay your burdens on as well, who understands and will listen all the time.
I have my elevator speech to the officers and members of the department is, if you want to talk, we'll talk. If you want to pray, that's kind of my wheelhouse. We'll pray. If you just want to vent, then I'll listen. And I've heard it all before. I've done police and fire chaplaincy in Illinois. I did prison chaplaincy as the inside director of ministry inside I helped open a level 6 super maximum security prison.
Oh,
That was a little scary for me,
Yeah.
but
And I helped open chaplaincy for the Virginia prison for the criminally insane. I fit in well there, but and so I've seen a lot, I've heard of a lot, and it has been a wild ride, but one I wouldn't trade a minute of.
what's been your favorite part about your chaplaincy here and what you've done?
Becoming friends as well as chaplain with members of this department. Um, it is enriching. In ministry, a lot of times people kind of hold you at arm's length, even though you want to be, you want to develop friendships, you want to develop a closeness with people. Still, yet they still have a tendency to, a lot of people at least, to put a pastor, to put a doctor up on a pedestal. But I always say, don't put me on a pedestal because I'll fall off. and sometimes it's the other way around. They look with suspect. What's he up to? What's he want? And to develop the kind
that they don't want you to know everything about them.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid they'll end up in a sermon.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's the cool part about coming from like a faith-based perspective, because I think some people will hold you at an arm's length because, they think you're going to judge them or you're on a different level or they're not coming from the same perspective that you're coming from. But I don't think you've ever approached it that way. You just listen, you have your faith if they can have their faith. And it's just about having someone who you can talk to that's not going to judge, that can come. I think you come from a very wise perspective. And I think people have really enjoyed having that.
I've always thought that I've got enough of my own problems. I'm not going to judge somebody else's. And one of the things I've always tried to emphasize is that as a chaplain, I just want to walk alongside you. I'm not going to tell you what to do or tell you where to, but I'm going to walk alongside you as you go through this journey of crisis. But I've also been able to walk alongside during some of the family journeys of dedicated children, and been available to when officers and family members of the officers have been in the hospital, been able to go and to celebrate a birth and to celebrate birthdays, and to be there in times of crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about, coming to the end of an era?
I have honestly struggled with that a lot.
I questioned him. I'm like, are you sure? Is this the right timing? But he feels at peace about it.
I am.
That's important.
About 2.5 years ago, I started praying a prayer from Psalm 39:4. That's a passage of scripture that I've used in funeral sermons a lot. And the scripture says, Lord, make me to know my end and what is the measure of my days, that I may know how frail I am. And that fits a funeral sermon. But I realized about 2.5 years ago, as I began to consider my age, my health, and began to look at what it might look like when it comes time to retire. So I began to pray that, Lord, make me to know my end.
When is the right time?
When is the right time? The measure of my days.
And you've come to that now, I guess.
I have. My number one priority in retirement is to be Mr. Lisa Neace. I recognize the commitment, the sacrifice, and the times when I've been away, and she has has carried the load at home a lot. And so I'm going to turn around and be the best husband I can be the best grandfather I can be, and as long as I can.
I love that. Now, with both of you being in some form of capacity of law enforcement, what's your best piece of marriage advice to people who are kind of undergoing the same things from each of you? Actually, I think would be interesting.
Open conversation. I know that there are things that happen on the job that you just can't take home. You should not take home. And some of the things you don't want to take to command staff, and you don't want to tell to your buddies on patrol. That's where the chaplain comes in.
Yeah.
You come to us, and we will walk alongside you and help you carry the load. But when you go home, you should have the kind of communication with your spouse that says, okay, I can't talk about details, but I've had a bad day. Mm-hmm. And don't try to hide those things, but an open line of communication.
I found there have been times that I've had to tell him, okay, you need to slow down just a little bit, take a deep breath, and kind of get yourself back to where you need to be. Because sometimes it's overwhelming. Yeah. So I try to be that voice.
She has brought a lot of wisdom to my ministry overall, and especially to chaplaincy.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important because you have to be very sympathetic, empathetic in different situations. And sometimes that's a lot, and you can't take it all home with you. Yeah. It's probably very hard to have a balance. So having the amazing wife that helps you keep that balance is probably pretty important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Do you have any good retirement plans?
Well, I mentioned I'm going to be the best husband I can be. We have 3 grandchildren, 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Aww.
And they all came to visit us last week. I'm still tired, but
they're wonderful.
Do they live local?
The 13 and 15-year-old live in Newport Richey.
Our daughter and her husband.
With our daughter and her husband. The 4-year-old live in Richmond, Virginia, with our son and his wife. And so we have found airfares that get us to Richmond on a nonstop flight, relatively affordable. And so we'll be spending time in Richmond and time in Newport Richey. And there's some things that we have talked about doing for
trips,
years.
Travel.
We want to, I love trains. And so if we can figure it out, and I've got a travel agent friend who's trying to find us a good tour on a train. We want to go south along the southern border, come back north, and circle the United States on a train.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go to Europe, there's a lot of really cool trains.
Yeah.
Like Scotland has very cool trains. You can do train rides through Italy, which also means that you can eat unlimited bread and you don't get fat. I think that's a rule in Italy, if anybody can confirm.
Well, that's great.
But
that would be wonderful.
But it's just it's a long flight, but once you get there, there's just endless amounts of trains and things to do.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, life's short. And I know people wait usually until they retire to start traveling. So I'm sure you guys have a pretty long bucket list.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done a little bit of traveling in ministry. But again, this is where Lisa has kept the home fires. And she was able, once our children graduated high school, she was able to travel with me to camp meetings and revivals and conventions where I was the speaker or leader. But during the school age of our children. I was on the road, and she was doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And so,
No, I get it, because my husband, he just actually switched over to violent crimes. So now
boy.
they have a really busy call out schedule, and I get called out sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's finding that hard balance. I always say, like, sometimes I've got like 100% and sometimes I've got 20%. So you just have to communicate where you're at, and then you got to fill in if somebody else needs a little bit more, you know?
and that's one thing that Lisa and I have been tremendously blessed in, that we have really been a team in ministry, pastoring churches. When we have transitioned from one church to another, every church that we have moved from has made the statement that I can go wherever I want to go, but I've got to leave Lisa.
That's funny. No, I've loved our life journey. It's been wonderful, challenging at times, but I wouldn't trade it.
I remember one time both of our children went to university here in Florida, and when we brought our son, he was the youngest. We brought him and dropped him off, moved him into the dorm, dropped him off, and Lisa looked at me and said, "Florida's a nice place to visit, but I would never want to live here."
Don't ever say never, because you don't know what's going to happen.
So we have lived here now for 13 years.
I was going to ask.
13 years.
But now you're never leaving, right?
Yep, we have our
we
home.
love it here.
Yeah.
We have a home on a lake, and this is our retirement place until the Lord sees different for some reason.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also said when we moved into our house that we're never moving, so we're also stuck.
Yeah,
But in the best way. It's so
Yes.
nice when you know that it's like your forever home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's just a sense of like, let me hang up that picture. Let
Yeah.
me change out my countertops or whatever you want to do
Right.
to just make it yours and make it home.
yeah.
But
And we were blessed to be able to. We moved to one of our churches when our daughter was in second grade, and we lived in that home until both of our children had graduated high school and went away to college. And so that's
a long time to live somewhere where it's kind of temporary.
Yeah, it is.
But you did it,
Yeah.
and now you're here.
Yes.
What would you like to say to the new oncoming chaplains that we're going to get? Do you have any wisdom for them?
Do ride-alongs, spend time here in the department. Don't wait for a call, but come here and develop relationships.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have really enjoyed, and command staff has given me a workplace, a small desk in the patrol office where I set up a computer and have a Bible. And sometimes I've been able to come and just do some Bible study and work on sermons. And then sometimes people drop by my desk and we chat for a few minutes. And every time I come, I visit all 3 floors.
Yeah.
And
Just make yourself available.
Yeah, just make myself available. Put a face with the name. I encourage them to always check in with dispatch, because those folks are working tremendous, stressful jobs, and they're basically hidden in a room upstairs.
They are, and they never get to
Yeah.
hear the end of the story either.
No.
They'll
Yeah,
they'll
that's
be
hard.
on traumatic phone calls of
Yes.
people whose lives are in danger. They're not being saved yet because the police aren't there, and
Right.
then the police arrive, and it's like, oh, you don't get to finish the end of that book.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's hard. And I
so-
know that they've really appreciated you being here too, because not that they're forgotten, but I think they're also first responders in their own right.
Exactly.
And I think
Yeah.
it's important to remember that.
And so those kind of things for a new chaplain, if they wait for a call, those calls don't come frequently. But if they know, if the department knows, the command staff, the victims advocates, I've worked well with victims advocates. They've been a blessing to me.
They're awesome too.
And
Yeah.
if people know your name and know your face, then you're more likely to get that call
Yeah.
at 3 a.m.
Absolutely. I've always seen you around, available. You'll send out emails and say, "Hey, I'm going to be here if
Yeah.
you want to come talk or just hang out or whatever people want to do." And I know that helps cuz we'll see your face in the hall, and maybe it's just the smile that we needed that day that we wouldn't have otherwise gotten.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone for doing everything that you've done for us for the past 10 years, being there for us, leaving your family in the middle of the night to go love on us, help us, and get us through the hard times.
One of the highest honors of my life is to serve in chaplaincy, and especially with Cape Coral Fire and Cape Coral Police Department. This has just been one of the greatest experiences of chaplaincy that I've had in over 40-some years of chaplaincy.
I couldn't be prouder of him. He's amazing.
Aw, I love that. See, we're happy we got Lisa as an extra bonus
Absolutely.
today. She's awesome.
Absolutely.
We didn't get Lisa Greenberg, but we got Lisa.
Thank you.
So it's awesome.
Thank you. I have happily served, and it's been rewarding for me, and hopefully people will carry memories of this old bald-headed guy that used to hang around and pray for us. And I've been excited to be alongside when officers have retired, to see them reach this point. And it's been exciting to be a part of the swearing-in ceremonies.
Yeah.
Where we swear in children, it looks like
Yeah.
to me.
Looks like
Every
that.
year I get older, the new officers get younger, and but it's exciting, and the culture of this department has been so rewarding. I talk when I go to other departments or I go out of state to meetings and stuff. I talk about this department, and I commend the culture of professionalism and integrity that is displayed from command staff to everyone on patrol.
Yeah, this is an awesome department, but I don't think that culture could have been fostered without having the backbone in the department of people like you there to support us, because
Well, thank you.
I mean that, because if we didn't have an outlet of somebody to talk to when things get hard, then people fall in. It's law enforcement. You go to a baby death or something like that, and then
Yeah.
you just, if you don't talk it out or talk to the right person, then you can just go downhill,
Exactly.
get really sad. Things affect you. Things affect your job, your home life. So you've helped us to create that culture and basically keep us mentally safe as much as we keep everybody else physically safe in the community.
And I would be remiss if I didn't commend the work of Chaplain Dennis Gingrich, who has been around for 34 years, I think, 33 of chaplaincy here with the department. And Chaplain Patrick Miller is one of the newbies, but he's coming along and doing good work. And I know that Chaplain Gingrich is interviewing right now to find someone to fill the space that I'm leaving. And so they are doing great work.
Yeah. And as much as you can interview for somebody different, I think there's still a legacy that you've left that we really do appreciate.
Well, thank you so much. Like I said, it's one of the greatest honors of my life.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that was on your heart?
Draw on your faith in the Lord every day. because as much as a chaplain wants to walk alongside you and be there for you, the Lord has promised, I will never leave you or forsake you. And so you draw on that promise while you're waiting for the chaplain to show up, or to, or in the midst of your crisis, draw on the Lord.
I don't think that could be said any better. So we'll leave it there. Thank you both so much for joining us. Thank you for watching the Cape CopCast, and we'll see you next time.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mercedes. Great job.
Thank you for listening to the Cape CopCast, where we dive into the heart of the Cape Coral Police Department safety initiatives, community relations, and the insightful stories of different officers that make up our department.
Please like and share our podcast. If you have feedback, you can email capepdpao@capecoral.gov. And remember to follow us on social media. Our handle is @CapePD on all major platforms. Stay safe, stay Cape.